Should we leave it like that, Dot? Should I leave it? I kind of want to leave it, yeah? All right, guys, I've done negotiation with my wife/producer. She's allowed me to agree to let REYNOR's face cam stay like this. We had it cropped from when he was using his phone at the internet cafe. He's back on his proper webcam, but she's allowed me to leave it for game 1. All right. What the heck is going on, everybody? It is time for Showtime in the top left side of the map. Up against REYNOR in the bottom right side for a Basilisk. And of course, these players are now fighting for the final spot in the semi-finals. Clem is going on to be facing Sarrel. Who will be facing Maru? Will it be Showtime or will it be REYNOR? I cannot wait to find out. Now, REYNOR, unfortunately, is dealing with big technical issues today, guys. You guys who've been watching this in order, as you should be. Anyone who's not just tuned in has been hearing all about it. REYNOR did come back from the PC bang he was playing at to play on his computer at home, accepting the 60 FPS that it goes down to as the game gets into the mid-game and later, which is very hard to micro and multitask on. He said he feels that's got to be better than playing in a crowded internet cafe where they're... Apparently they do barbecue in the joint as well, so there's like people cooking near him, and there's tons of people there. It's Saturday night, and it's stressful, man. So hats off to REYNOR for being in a hard environment. But I think, honestly, Showtime in your perfect environment is a tough opponent. Showtime and REYNOR have so many epic matches over the last 5 years, especially the last 5 years, where so often Showtime gets ahead. The problem he has is finishing REYNOR off, and it's so weird to say because you'd think with their styles, REYNOR doesn't really love the late game of this matchup. He's good at it, but it's not his expertise. Showtime loves just trying to survive and getting to later in the game. That's his whole plan. But in the past, it's been these crazy neuroparasitic comebacks for REYNOR against Showtime. And those have plagued him. Where I've you know, it's so funny because I've had, and I mentioned it earlier in the cast, a big chat with REYNOR and a few of the players, and I was just kind of poking them about their confidence, different changes this patch, what's feeling good, what's feeling bad, what matchups are they feeling strong in and weak in. And obviously REYNOR is quite vocal about struggling in ZvP, and you know, he was kind of just saying, look, I know I'm a bit tilted in it and it makes me play worse, but you know, we ended up having a big chat just about like where Zerg's at in general and how it's played in Legacy and how it changed from when he was first getting into the game. And he was talking just about how, you know, ZvP is a tough matchup for him. And it's kind of funny because Showtime, I think, is the epitome of Protoss who's going to do the things REYNOR struggles with, which is Stalker, Storm, off of the Oracle Adept pressure, get a third base up, and then try to get towards that Mothership Temper stage of the game, where, you know, I think if you speak to pretty much anyone, they're almost all saying, well, unless you're playing Sarrel, your favorite is the Protoss. When Sarrel sometimes flips that around because he's so good at that late game ZvP stage, but even Sarrel will say he doesn't really want to be playing that stage against Protoss players. So Showtime will do that, and that's hard for REYNOR. On the flip side, Showtime has gotten ahead and got to late game many times against REYNOR in the past, and you'll see, and it's like, well, REYNOR's pretty screwed, and bam, friggin' Ultras flank Showtime's army from two sides, neuroparasites land all over his army, and you get the most insane reversals you've ever seen. Like, I will never forget the time when Showtime, did he double chrono? Oh, he's double chrono adepts. This is early double adept pressure, guys. I think he's back to his old tricks. He loves the double adept dive, where you just commit to the shade, dive in hard, accept losing the adepts as long as you get yourself that 10 worker advantage. He's already forcing 12 Zerglings out of his opponent. We'll tell more stories of past REYNOR Showtime matches later on. Oh, he's clicked these adepts on the wrong side. It's a bad shade. You shouldn't let that finish. Showtime! He lets it finish. Oh, no! He doesn't even take down a single drone, does he? Can he get the yellow one? I don't think he got a drone. Oh, he got one drone. One drone for 2 adepts. That's a disaster. His wall-off's not even done. Okay, he does have an Oracle here. I think he's going to delay the second Oracle to wall off. Okay, so his wall-off solid, and he has an Oracle on the third, but damn, dude. And he goes back to get the energy recharge. Should be able to defend with energy recharge. But REYNOR now can skip extra spores and queens, knowing that Showtime has to keep his first Oracle at home and possibly his second as well. Damn, that was a bad... He clicked the Adept Shades in, didn't realize he probably clicked right where the spawning pool was, and they kind of derped to the wrong side of it. I think he should have cancelled that shade. But Showtime's philosophy with this is make 2 adepts, chrono them, especially after you block the base, commit with them, kill as many drones as you can, and then because the Zerg's overbuilt Zerglings, and they can't really do anything against Oracles with the counter pressure, you're just ahead on workers. And only now is REYNOR catching up in workers, and this is with REYNOR not losing anything. 1 drone only. which is, I mean, normally you're meant to lose at least 2, usually 3 drones. And if you mess up a little as Zerg, sometimes it's 4 or 5. And that's where things get really bad. Twilight Council into 2 more gateways. And, oh, it's Glaive Adept follow-up as well. Oh, Showtime really piling on the waves of aggression here. Don't get me wrong, he's still going to have a macro follow-up, but he's leaning into Reynor and making him play very good StarCraft to defend this. Reynor's a bit oversaturated on this base. We'd like to see him fix his work account. Does have a nice early 4th, though. And with the Queen so close by, he can defend that from these Oracles. It's one advantage of Winter Madness. Spore Crawler's up in all 3 bases now. Maybe a little too safe. No Overlord on this pillar. I'd like to see Reynor get these Oracles out of this base right now. Otherwise, they will find damage. Not pulling his drones away, though, and Showtime very passive. On the other side of the map, looks like 6 Lings have gone down. No extra kills after just 1 probe and 2 Adepts. Maybe snagged a probe just then. I'm not quite sure. And, oh, he sees the Adept warp in. That's big. That's big. All right, beautiful scout there for Reynor. He's going to start Roaches, but Roach Warren's oddly placed. Normally, you want that on the edge, so then you can wall off with 2, a few more big buildings. Cancels his Evo here because he's going to want to wall off with an Evo chamber here, but it's going to be 2 holes in this wall. I think he should go double Evo. He's going to go Spore Crawler and Mover Spore. Problem is, that means if the Oracles swoop in, there's no Spore on that base. That is a massive weakness. The Adept's getting into the base. Reynor only has 4 Roaches. And now the Roaches rallying inside are going to struggle as well. This is an odd fight because, yes, the Roachling getting good surface area, but also drones are being focused. So I really don't know how to judge this fight. I mean, losing 9 drones is never good. How many Adepts go down, though? Oracles make it 10 drones. And that's 8 Adepts for 17 Zerglings and 11 drones. I think that's pretty decent damage for Showtime. He's definitely building economic advantage, but cost for cost, the fact that Reynor has shut this down, got his Roaches together on the front, has a 4th up, I think he can drone really hard now. Oh, but he's not. He's going all in. Reynor's still massing Zerglings. Oh, I think that's maybe a bad call. Because look at this. Showtime's filling up with more Adepts. And he's going to... So basically, Reynor wants to do a German taxi. He's going to go Queen drop, Roach Ravager Zergling. Problem is, Massling is useless against Adepts. So if Showtime throws these Adepts away, this can work really well for Reynor. But if Showtime keeps the Adepts safe, just passively pokes around, then this gets really tough. Lings come in for the counter. And I think Showtime now seeing tons of Roachling on the other side, no drones on the 4th, and a Massling here. His alarm bells have to be ringing. How the heck does Zerg have this much army? And of course, we know the answer is there's not many drones. Showtime should be able to infer that. Oh! Stasis Trap saves the Adepts. Really good Stasis Trap there. Gets in shade into the natural. Roachling will clean it up, though. And I think that's really good for Reynor, actually. Showtime's got to be a bit more conservative with his units because the Adepts are what you need against these Zerglings, and I think now he has to warp in more Adepts. He's got a good squad of Stalkers, though. Oh, here comes the German taxi. Watch out for the German taxi, man. Oh, I think he needs Adepts, though. These Lings are going to be a real problem, man. Showtime trying to come forward. Oh, he's looking for the Overlord. He gets it. Reynor with a huge misstep loses an Overlord with 4 Queens inside. And now, with only 2 Queens left, I don't know if he even has enough to take care of the Oracles. He gets the 2nd Overlord as well. No Queens unloading. Disaster for Reynor here. Reynor always plays on the edge of his seat. But in this case, he went way too close to the fire and his hands got burnt. Showtime with a flawless game 1. Great game 1 for Showtime, guys. Going up to 10,000 feet. Raiders in the bottom right. Showtime in the top left. And it's kind of funny because that game escalated quickly with that aggressive Adept build. I didn't even get to finish telling my story about the backstory of these guys. So recently, Reynor struggling in this matchup against specifically the sort of late game style, very safe setups that Showtime likes to do. But we saw Showtime dynamic as well. He adds a lot of pressure in there, a lot of different harassment tools to get to those later stages. And Reynor really feels he's got to win in that middle stage. Otherwise, he's going to be playing late game, which is a massive uphill battle against Showtime's style of Protoss. On the other hand, I was saying how Showtime's, being neuroparasite. We had a long chat because I'd watched a bunch of series where Showtime was miles ahead and ended up losing the neuroparasite. And we had a long chat a few years ago at Katowice where I was just going, man, like, what's the change up that needs to happen? Because Reynor keeps stealing these series off you where you're miles ahead. And I'm honestly curious because I do think it's really hard to deal with burrowed infestors neuraling your army, And we were talking about it for a while. We were talking about, do you feedback, drop some high Templar? Because it's hard to get in range as well without getting your guys caught by like fungal or something. And when there's ultras on the field, it's tough. And I was saying, do you always need a disruptor in your army? So because it can shoot really far, it can kind of break the really key infestors. It could just pop like 4 or 5 infestors channeling a neural. And, we were just talking about all these different options and like how carriers sometimes are actually really good because they can shift click down infestors really quickly, but Also, if they get neural, they're kind of the prime target for it. And it's just so funny because I remember us kind of going, damn, this situation is so difficult against, in this matchup. And it's kind of different sides of the matchup at different periods. I've had this discussion with both players about how powerful certain tools are when your opponents use them so well. And that's what I love about peak PVZ here. Of course, I think the famous OG comeback Reynor made was pure Ravager. There was a game where Showtime defended an all-in. Reynor was stuck on like 70 drone Roach Ravager, no tech, no follow-up. Showtime had 4 base Immortal Archon, I think it was. And basically, Reynor had to just double down on Ravagers or he was going to die. Because Showtime didn't have much splash, I don't think he'd added Storm. It was just like a giant army of well-upgraded Immortal Archon. Reynor basically just went mass Ravager, and he just kited Showtime around the map, refusing to stand and fight, just shoot, pull back, drop bars, shoot, pull back, as well as doing run-bys, that famous Reynor multitasking. And I remember this game, Showtime just got fed up and thought, I'm far enough ahead, I can just A-move you. And he kind of just chased him into Biles, into Ravagers for like 5 minutes. And Reynor actually killed like 20 Immortals and 10 Archons through this, like, it should have been Benny Hill theme music playing. It was a real unfortunate one. And Showtime was real. It was kind of embarrassed after, like, oh my gosh, I just thought the game was over and I stopped paying attention. I thought I could just A-move, man. And Showtime made this crazy mass Ravager comic. It was probably 4 years ago. This was 4 or 5 years ago. It was a long time ago. But outside of that, I think that was the last time we saw one like that. Like I said, a few years ago, there was a few big matches with Neural Parasite comebacks with Ultras against Showtime with a very dominant ground army. But I think with the Mothership added in as well, that's been changed since then, and maybe Reynor doesn't feel as confident with the Ultra Infestor these days. For now, it's another double Adept pressure. Showtime messed up in the last game, still managed to get in there with the Glaive Adepts. And I think Reynor just doubling down on that all-in. It wasn't the greatest choice. I would have loved to see him drone up a bit more, add roach speed. You can still do a big all-in counterattack. You got to go for it a bit later. Oh, nice shade in. Good pull away on the drones, though. Dude, that's like perfect defense for Reynor. Gets Lings on both sides immediately. Only loses 2 drones. And this always feels awkward. And then you look at the worker count after, and you go, it's like an 8, 9, sometimes even 10 worker advantage. And Showtime has said, I think it was that same Katowice I was talking about this Adept opening a few years ago, and he was saying it's always good. He's like, even when you kill like 1 or 2 drones, he's like, I always feel it's like just never a bad way to play as Showtime panics and attacks his own probe. Luckily, he doesn't kill it. And yeah, he really believes in that just shade the Adepts in, force the Zerg to build a bunch of Zerglings. If you can delay them droning up their natural at the start, it really messes with their build order, and he just thinks it's so worth it. You've got a fully saturated natural. The Zerg takes another minute to fully saturate their natural. So they're actually hitting it after yours is, which is, a bit unusual. Twilight Council comes in, 3rd gateway. Looks like a Blink build to me, guys. Could be Charge. Charge +1's nice, but a lot of players will go Forge a bit earlier if they're doing that. 3rd base on the front. 10,000 feet's a bad map for late game. Reynor will not want to go to that stage against Showtime. Oh, that's really good. Gets himself a pylon for a couple of Zerglings. Super worth. The Oracle has fallen back. Might want to energy recharge this bad boy. He's a bit low on juice. Lair. Ooh, nice early lair for Reynor. Okay, what are we doing with the lair? Hydrabane? Mutas? Nidus Worm. I don't think it could be Nidus Worm. I mean, you could go Swarmos. We haven't seen Swarmos in a while, and whilst it's not the best against Blink, I think this is one of the better maps for it. You throw Locusts here, Locusts across this side into the base, and from up here. Actually, oh, this is a perfect map for Nidus Swarmos, isn't it, guys? And it's small enough. If you push your creep aggressively to the middle, you could even take this as your 3rd base to have your creep further forward. Oh, this is actually, you don't even need Nidus. You could literally just do creep spread, swarm host, Roach Ravager siege off 66 drones, old school. Blink is the better style against that because obviously it's so mobile. They'll force you to fight away from the Protoss base wherever possible, but I think it has power and potential. Protoss taking that middle base. Otherwise, it's not really exposed to any of the other Zerg things. You can attack it from 2 sides. Half comes from this side, half from up here to a big swarming attack. Don't mind that one as well. Stasis traps getting a few decent surrounds, but oh, Blink is not ready, so he loses a Stalker already. And oh, Reynor, he's gonna get one. Does he? He does get one. Okay, gets this around there. Kind of helps out a bit, but every Stalker is sacred, man. You can see Showtime now behind the units lost. He's going 3 gate to 5 gate. 5th base comes up in the corner. Evo chamber, Hydra Den, more Lings, more drones. 54 drones are up. 62 probes. Reynor had to build a lot of units because that Stalker pressure so early, and Even when Reynor's trading better, he's doing it from down on economy. And this is like, this style Showtime's playing is like, get in your face, make you play low economy, and then I'm still going to add Storm. Got Templar Archives, got Charge, got +1. He's on 3 base, 65 workers. He sees, you know, oh, you're just taking your gases now? No worries. He feels great in this situation. Reynor's got to play catch up on the workers. He's not built any Hydras yet, and understandably so. Infestation Pit, heaps more workers going down. Showtime will now build that 4th base. Oracle's in the back. He's got pretty good vision. He does see a gas missing here. Doesn't tell him too much, though, because these gases could be taken on the front. And he sees a quick 5th. I mean, this looks pretty normal from what Showtime's seen. Doesn't need to be too afraid. And you can see now he's going up to 8 gateways. High Templar gathering energy. Psystorm on the way. The Robo coming in to add Observer, Warp Prism, and then, of course, Immortal production. We'll see how quick Reynor can start this lair. Even if he starts it instantly, the Infestation Pit's finishing now. Still, it's only 7:16. It's not a crazy early lair as Reynor tries to make his way to Lurkers. Showtime's quick to probe. Should be rallying over to that 4th now. Wonder how quickly he takes the gases. He's got a cannon and a battery coming up. 2 cannons in this middle base. There's that worker transfer we were talking about. Feels like Showtime's just really got a plan, and he's not being seriously disrupted. I think that's a problem for Reynor long term. Even though Reynor's now going 95 workers, which is cool and all, it's pretty tough playing against Showtime when the opening's being like this. This is not Hero. Always has a unit in the wall off. No easy Ling run bys available. Oracles come into the main. They will see that Hive's on the way, but that it's not done yet. That Revelation might last long enough to actually see that Hive finish. +2 attacks on the way. 4 more probes as the 8 gas comes up. Showtime is feeling pretty darn confident. I was going to say, yeah, it's got to be Fleet Beacon now, right? You're at 140 supply. You've got 6 High Templar, 7 Stalkers, 10 Zealots, 2 Oracles. You got a bunch of cannons. He's even got units in his main. He's specifically like, in case Reynor drops him. He hasn't seen anything that indicates drop. He's just saying, you know, that's one of the things that could surprise me on this map. Is it so hard to attack this frontal side? Let's make sure I have some insurance. I mean, that's amazing preparation for him. Groove Spine, Seismic Spine. So Lurker Hydra upgrades. Second Evo Chamber comes in. And I think Reynor, he's got a good economy. He's going to have a lot of money. Good luck pushing forwards. Adrenal Glands as well as a Spire. Okay, yeah, I do love the Spire. If Reynor didn't build the Spire, I think that would be a pretty big misread on where he's at in the game. He is not far enough ahead to do this. Oh, Lurker gets stuck in front of the Hydras. Does go down. It's only 1, though. Oh, look at that. I didn't realize Lurkers could attack across this gap, guys. Doesn't quite have the range upgrade just yet, though. Needs that range upgrade. These Lurkers taking a fair bit of damage. That Lurker's just eating it, though. Dude, pretty good storms here for Showtime. Clears a few of these Lurkers. Quite a few of them, though, survive, but heavily damaged nonetheless. Nidus Worm's on the way. Revelation comes down. Stalkers will take out 1 of these Lurkers. And he's just going to have to pull away, isn't he, until the Tempest's here. Showtime trades a few Stalkers there. Probably worth it, honestly, to kill 2 Lurkers for a few Stalkers. He's got to be careful. Losing a few probes. I feel like just pull off minerals for a minute. It's got to be the better option, surely. Showtime just sitting there and face tanking it with his workers. Sloppy, man. Almost loses some High Tempo as well. I mean, it's 9 probes. It's not the end of the world. Just a little bit wild. Tempest go nice and far forward. Feels confident there. Oracle derps in a little bit. Does get the Lurker. He's going to force these Hydras out there. Nidus Worm goes up on this side. He already kind of announced the Nidus threat, though, by doing one on the front as a repositioning Nidus. Hydra Lurker's trying to come forward. It's 4 Lurkers only. He's already lost 6 of them, so Reynor's trying to go tempo style. Ling's coming in the left side. There's so much Zealot Arc on. There's cannons already in each base. He's not finding anything. Waves of Zerg crashing onto the rocks of Protoss. I always think of watching waves crashing into, like, you know, the rocks on the edge of a cliff face in the ocean, and you're like, the waves always look so scary and big and huge, and they are if you're a human, but not if you're the cliffs. The cliffs are like, yeah, give it a few thousand more years, they'll wear us down, you know, but after each wave recedes, the cliff face, the rocks look pretty much identical to what they did before the crazy violent waves hit them. Lurker Rasp being a nuisance. See the way the probes dance in and out, though. He doesn't often kill them just because the lurker spines take a while. Only gets one probe there for that lurker. Not a good trade. Units lost 4,000 in favor of Showtime. Showtime's got the Tempest. He's got Mama. He's got 7 High Templar and an Immortal. Gonna try and surround this army, maybe. If he pushes in too deep in the middle, Reynor can flank from the right and here. There's no Banelings. Banelings would be really nice to connect with the High Templar, but of course, often the Banelings just get shot down before they connect, so the Banelings are very hit or miss. Army on the left does lure Showtime out of position, and that might be Showtime's biggest mistake of this game. He does have recall available, but he's not using it. High Templar almost get left behind, but not quite. Mama arrives, though. Mama arrives, and without Corruptors here, not much he can do. Lurkers try to come in from the left as well. Reynor, Hydras will actually kill 1 High Templar, but only 1. I think he stayed way too long on this top right with these Lurkers and Hydras. The moment the Mothership arrived, he should have got out of there. She tanks a crazy amount of damage, only loses 100 hit points, and now it is 7,000 resources behind in the units lost. Reynor is in massive trouble. He's building a few queens right now, I guess to respread creep or something like that, but Ling Hydra Lurker not really doing it at this stage of the game. Gonna need to add some Corruptors. And even then, Lurker Corruptor, I think, is just the worst comp to get stuck in late game against a good Protoss player with. I think Ultras and Corruptors are quite dynamic, especially at this stage. There's no Immortals. Like, there's 1 Immortal, a second one just coming out. If you can... Ultra Corruptors, like, it's a real playmaking army. Lurkers are just a bit too slow against the Tempests that outrange them, you know? It's like you're playing siege units versus siege units, but their siege units are faster and shoot further than yours. That's a problem. Whereas with Ultras, you might not be able to break certain positions, but you've got so much mobility, you can pick and choose where you fight. Of course, it's easy to say once you're in the late game, oh, you should have gone Ultras instead of Lurkers. Good luck getting there while trying to tech up to Ultras. That's the reason it's not as easy. I'm just pointing out it would be a much smoother situation for Reynor being on Ultra Corruptor compared to this army. Hydra Lurker on the right gets pushed back as well. Oh, Showtime! He goes for the drive-by, roasts a few drones, and he's going to recall into that main base. Oh, look at that. Reynor's not going to kill anything. Reynor will try to base trade this. There's no way he gets back up into this main. There is no way. And Showtime. I mean, he's in the game that he wanted to be in. The thing is he actually making it a bit too messy? This might actually give Reynor more of a chance. Got to go forward. How much tech goes down is one of the big questions here. The Lurker Hydra shifting forward. How much can the High Templars with the Storms manage to slow this down? The Hydra's doing really well. There is a recall. He's going to recall some units up there. Lurkers on the right side are exposed, as are these Lurkers on the left. Got to use Revelation. Well does Showtime. Showtime. 2 Archons still there at home. Those will eventually get cleaned up by the rally. Hydras eat a big storm, as do a bunch of the Lurkers. The Overseers do have oversight, finally pushing back that High Templar, but not before those storms do massive amounts of damage. Reynor needs to get out of here. Reynor needs to run. He's got no anti-air. He's got to run. Stays, once again, a bit too long. And Showtime. Well, he's actually only down 5,000 resources, so the 21 probes, the Nexus going down was actually pretty good for Reynor, who losing his main might not really matter, guys. What tech did he lose? He's got Sporting Pool, Hydrogen, and Lurker and Spire Infestation, but hats off to him for building all of his tech behind his natural and third. Didn't build much in the main. Spawning Pool didn't get killed there either. Kind of cute, man. Lurker's going to run away in the top right, as will the Overseer. Sporting Pool rebuilding for Reynor. Lair being remade. He figures this will die. He could go put a Creep Tumor up there and actually would save it. Could move that Spine Crawler down as well, but he's got a lot of important things to focus on, and Reynor can't focus on everything. Showtime's rebuilding Gateway's Cybercore. So he's going to go 14 Gate Cybercore and Mortal Archon, plus 2 armor on the way. He's already got Tectonic Destabilizers to give bonus building damage to the Tempests. And plus 1 air weapons. Extra upgrades aren't that necessary for Tempests. They do enough damage to be useful either way. Carry is very upgrade dependent. Tempest not so much. They do big damage and they shoot from far away. It doesn't matter how much you upgrade their armor and their shields. Tempests are fragile. Upgrading their attack does give them some marginal gains, though. Hydra Lurker going to try and focus this Nexus down. Oh, Showtime messes up. Loses the base, a bunch of buildings. And he gets jumped on the right side. Oh, no. Showtime in trouble. Corruptor's diving. A lot of High Templar being forced to morph into Archons. The Lurker Hydra catching some of those. All the air units go down. Brilliant engagement there for Reynor. Oh, damn, dude. Maybe 60 FPS Reynor is the best version of Reynor. I'm surprised because this army is one of the... I hate fighting with this army against Protoss. I think it's so difficult to micro. Reynor's always been a wizard with these fancier army comps, though. You guys have seen me watching him versus Maru playing mech, and he just plays Ravagerling Bane for 25 minutes straight, and I'm like, well, this is not a good army long-term. And you look at the trading, and he's like super competitive with Maru's nicely upgraded mech army. Those are always the games where I'm kind of just going, how the hell is he this good with such fragile unit comps, right? It gives him mobility. And there's the style Reynor's best at, is moving around the map, finding those engagements. Still 6 Tempests, 1 Mothership up. He's only killed 4 of the Tempests overall this game. Could focus the Nexus down, but I think these Lings are all just going to get blitzed by the Zealot Archon cannon. Gets himself only in a simulator. He's going to dive! Watch out. He baits the Time Warp, though. Didn't lose too many units for it. That's a really good bait. Lurkers are going to push the right side. High Templar should have probably thrown a Zoning Storm there to try and scare him away from that. Showtime goes forward. Oh, a bunch of the High Templar and Zealots going down. Lurkers dodging the storm. Showtime's making some mistakes. Corruptors find the Oracle just sitting out in the open. Cloaking Field's gonna wear off as well. Does need a few more Corruptors though. He's only got 11 right now. This base gets cancelled one more time. But Showtime getting this base up. Reynor could have denied it earlier. He just didn't even realize it was building. And now these minerals in the middle have been mined out. Showtime's gonna saturate that left side base. Showtime's still got a good tail of gas income from his first bases as well, which he can use to make Archons, which are a pretty well-rounded unit. Not the best against Lurkers, but they're very solid against everything else. Just going to keep picking things off. Does build another Oracle. Showtime's got to babysit those Oracles. He's lost 3 of them this game. Cost 300 resources a pop. They are not cheap. Prism's going to go down the left. He's left his left base open, though. I don't know if Reynor can really shove this. Reynor's committing in like a mad lad. Time Warp's off cooldown, though. Oh, Time Warp's so good. Observer does get taken out. Is there Revelation? He doesn't seem to have an Observer. Their Oracle's right there. Showtime's got to cast that Revelation. Corruptors are coming in. Revelation finally goes down. No point focusing that now for Reynor. The Lurkers are fighting on the right side as well. Lurkers come in. Those get cleaned up. It looks like the Immortal Storm will clean these Lurkers up as well. And that, I think, was an excellent fight for Showtime, who is now 11,000 ahead in the units lost. And the supply advantage is monumental. Reynor, of course, very low on gas. He's got to take these 2 gases on the right. Looks like all these gases are mining, but not much gas left to mine. Got about 2.5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes at most of gas mining on those bases, and then he's completely dry, except for this new one on the right. So Reynor's gas has really been just run down by the Corruptors. The Corruptors, the Hydras, the Lurkers, all very gas-heavy units. Complements it with a lot of Zerglings. They do have decent upgrades, +2 melee and Adrenal, but Showtime wisely recalls back. I think he's worried about getting caught down there in the bottom. Caution, a big part of Showtime's game. I think he's kind of surprised he's finding himself in such a chaotic game because he had such a clean setup, and turns out the recall in the main, the stylish move, may have pushed this game to a bit of a dangerous spot. He has 21 kills on the Mothership, by the way. Immortal with 8 kills, 14 kills, 12 kills. There's no Broodlings, really. Because no Brood Lords, so 7 kill Reddit Point Zealot. The other Reddit Point Zealot has 2 kills. Archon with 17. Prism's seen some stuff. Of course, doesn't have a direct attack itself, though. Tempest picking off Queens there behind that base. There's a Zealot Archon, Immortal Storm Army on the left. It's going to cause some problems here for Reynor. Lurkers are on top of it. There's no detection. The Observer or Oracle needs to get over here. Oh, those Lurkers doing some good damage. Corruptors try to come in, though, and they take some big damage to Storm Time Warp. Ouch. Oh, the Lurker's doing so much damage. But as soon as the Observer arrives, they disappear. And that means this base is forfeit. Link Counter's going to come in. There's not much to defend, but Showtime wisely pulls back, anticipating. He knows that when Reynor gives up ground, there's always a Link Counter coming. And he's ready for it. Zerglings have to run away. It's one of these games where if Reynor had like 3 Adrenal Zerglings, he could have maybe done some bigger run-bys, like 60 Zerglings on a base, just surround the cannons and instantly kill them. Kill the Zealots so quickly. As long as there's no Archons or Storms landing on your Zerglings, they do pretty well with these upgrades. I think Hydra Lurker trying to move forward, eating some very big Storm damage. There's so many Zealots. The problem is the Zerglings just get rinsed by the Zealot Archon. The Storms, the Tempests, and the Immortals do so much to those Lurkers. More Zealots on the left. Showtime desperately hanging onto this base while he secures the middle. Revelation comes in, and the Zealots get a really good angle. Corruptors go forward and eat massive shots as well. How many Tempests have died? 10 now. Still only 1 on the field. I think he lost a bunch of Tempests there, but the Corruptor count definitely got damaged. Lurker's doing damage as well. These Lurkers gonna need to burrow. Reynor setting up a surround as Showtime tries to retreat. Here comes Reynor trying to get on top, but of course the Lurkers burrow and you just pull away. Hunting an opponent down with siege units, near impossible. Ooh, does Showtime have recall? I think he should recall out. He's kind of trapped in the corner a little bit. This base also getting jumped on yet again. Showtime has the middle base back up now, but it doesn't have that many resources. His army looks like he might get caught here by Reynor. Reynor's still down in army supply, though. How do you force a positive fight? 12 Corruptors are down the bottom. He's going to need a few more of those to clean up Mama. And that's a very good recall. Does leave a few units behind, though. This Immortal and this Zealot get the short straw. Oh, he loads them into the Prism. And he recalls again. He uses the Mothership's recall to get those back to safety. Clever play there. Reynor desperate, guys. His income's not very good right now. Only a slight mineral advantage with that right side base. Showtime is grinding him down. And he needs a massive fight. But those Lurkers exposed. And they just get absolutely hammered. Oh, man. This is why often you need either some Fungals or some Banelings or just an absolutely crazy amount of Lurkers in a choke point. Because otherwise the Zealots charge on top and they get over your position and start dragging Lurker shots in the wrong directions way too quickly. Showtime takes a dominating 2-0 lead. All right, going into Celestial Enclave, guys. Showtime sending a probe across immediately. Very nice for the German Protoss. The Italian Zerg playing from Korea right now. The top right side of the map. He actually had an amazing series of fights and scrambles there, making that last game as competitive as it was in the hardest position where it gets to in that game. Problem is he's gone Overlord here. And, I mean, just in general, this probe gets here so early through the back door, blocking this base. Where do you... Yeah, what do you do with this being blocked as Reynor, guys? He's going to send that drone out. He's going to go... Oh, he's going gas. What the heck? Is this gas pool opening? This is a gas pool. Okay. 17 gas, 17 pool. It's going to be a quick Ling speed. What in the world is Reynor planning? He might have been hoping Showtime didn't scout at all. Showtime sees this and he's like, what the heck? And now Showtime's going to go block his base to the left. Reynor sees that he's getting blocked. Oh, that hurts. Pulls the drone away. Oh, he's going to go take the inside. Problem with that is that's only 5 minerals, 1 gas. That's a pretty bad base the longer this game goes. Guess you could just use this just to get kickstarted and take a quick third soon afterwards. Nexus is going to go down after Cybercore. And you might be wondering why. Well, the reason is... Could be 6 Lings coming across the map early. He doesn't see the lava saving, so he actually should know he's kind of safe, but just allows you to go earlier Adepts. Get an Adept out early, you can defend any sort of early Zergling flood, any like 4 or 6 Lings that try to depower your gateway or get inside your base. And if you want to double chrono, you can even send the Adept across the map to scout, and then have your second Adept at a competitive enough timing to still defend your base decently. Probe's going to hang here. Zerglings will come out. Showtime's going to circle a little bit. We do indeed see Lings. Oh, whoa, he hasn't pulled off gas. Reynor, what are you doing, mate? But to be fair, you're down 0-2 on Showtime. You got to make some magic happen, man. And second queen starts up. Could make a lair. This is going to finish right when he gets 100 gas. He could turn this into a lair. Really hard for Showtime to get. Now, Showtime is going to chrono an Adept. Does he chrono the second one, like I said? He does, yeah. So I think he lets this one go across, and then the other one will stay home, I believe. No, he cancels the Shade. He's hoping to bait Reynor's Zerglings coming in. 100 gas is there. Is Reynor going Lair? Or Baneley Nest? Which one is it? Lair. It's Lair. Okay, all right. Reynor. He's going all in. This is either a Nidus Worm or a drop. Oh, the Probe's going to come in to scout it, though. Probe's going to come in to scout it. Oh, you know what? If he mineral walked through, he would have seen the Lair. But he obviously doesn't expect to see a lair here. He wants to get in to see the drone count, to see the production, see all that sort of stuff. These 2 Lings should block him. Yeah, with Ling speed up, no scouting available. He can't confirm if there's a third base or not, so Showtime's in the dark. Stargate's on the way. It's Overlord speed. It's going to be drop. It's going to be drop. It's going to be a massive Ling Queen drop, guys. He's only got 2 queens. It's basically just Zerglings from it. 19 drone, lair attack to get the Dropper-Lords, because you need lair, and then each Dropper-Lord costs 25 minerals, 25 gas. This is a deadly build order, but there's Oracles on the way, there's a wall-off. I think Showtime's fine, as long as he stays calm. The problem is, he does not know for sure this is what's happening. It could be a weird macro build. He has no idea if there's a third base or not. He sees a pack of lings. 8 Zerglings, 9 Zerglings is not that crazy. It is a few more lings than I think Reynor should. I think Reynor should have only shown him 6 total Zerglings, right? So he's shown him 10. Oh! Showtime moves out without the Oracle! Huge mistake. He's going to lose 2 adepts instantly. And these lings will get inside the base as well, causing even more distraction. And most importantly, massive amounts of wasted Oracle energy. Zergling's getting ready for the triple drop there on the front. He's also got 2 queens coming across with a drop a lord over there as well. So it's going to be 24 lings dropping in the back door, and the rest will flood in the front. This is going to... Oh, he's going 4 gas. He's only got 1 adept and 2 oracles. He sees it. Wait, he sees it. No. It dodges. It dodged out of vision. He has no idea. Showtime has no idea right now, guys. This is his vision. He does not know there is mass Zergling coming to his main. These guys could have unloaded in the shadows. I would have liked them to start unloading already. I don't know why he's unloading so late. Reynor taking forever to unload his Zerglings here. He can't be letting another Oracle out. There's already 2 out. He's got to depower this one. He lets a lot of the probes escape as well. Maybe a little sloppy there. Lings try to come in the front. The Oracle turns on its laser. These Lings probably need to back away from the front. You don't want to just sit under that. Reynor tries to get in, but the pylon goes down. Reynor lets him get the pylon down. That is a big mistake. These adepts pulling back to a beautiful choke point. They've got the probes and the Oracle supporting them as well. Another Oracle comes home. It can add a bit more firepower. Beautiful shuffle on the Oracle to the right side. Showtime holding the choke point. He's still got 2 adepts in there. Another one warps in. The wall off is complete, and that wall off is so solid. These overlords should have gone back to ferry units over earlier, but now every single Zergling gets cleaned up, and that is a clean enough hold. You know there's going to be other waves, but you can repower the Stargate, return to mining. Got a 3rd base that he does cancel wisely. I think that's an easy snipe for Reynor, so why not? Just cancel that, get some more minerals that you so desperately need. Another drop's coming in. Main base. He's building a second pylon so he can get the Oracle out. I'll have 3 Oracles. Not a lot of energy, though. Remember, it costs energy for the Oracles to use their attack. Only one of them has enough. So there'll be 2 Oracles with enough to really fight. No energy recharge available either. The pylons will go down. The Adepts and Zealots are going to come forwards. The Oracles can fight this pretty well, though. He's going to try and fight the Zerglings with hold position and ignore the Queens. Showtime's Oracle gets low. He barely gets it away, though. And he cleans up all of the Zerglings. He's only lost 3 Adepts, 8 probes, and 2 pylons. The unit's lost tab 1.5 to 1, and you've got double the workers. I mean, he could pull probes and just fight these Queens as well now as well. He's going to return to mining with the probes. One of them gets focus fired by the Queens. Reynor picks up and pulls back to go for wave 3. There's no way to transition, guys. He can't drone up. He's not done nearly enough damage. Reynor has to hope Showtime fumbles this. Fumbles this. Showtime. Showtime's moving out with all 3 of his Oracles at the wrong time. He does have recall available. He needs to recall these right now. Oh god, his Adepts in the open. He needs to keep his units safe. He's got a lot of units here they're getting dropped on top of right now. Where are those Oracles? They're on the other side of the map. Showtime letting his guard down at the worst possible moment. Reynor comes in with one last final effort, trying to spread some creep here as well to help these Queens get some movement. He gets a really good surround with the Zerglings. If he can get rid of all the ground units, then suddenly the Queens are a real menace. He's also breaking the wall. The Oracles still aren't home. What were they doing? Showtime with a moment of inattention. It just kind of lets his guard down. He thinks, surely it's over. This is so relatable. I've lost so many games like this. You crush 2 waves, you go, well, it's over. He's got a drone up now. Ha ha ha. And then you just move out and you let yourself get overrun. Zerglings overwhelming the wall off. They're going to get in there. The Queens are here. There's Banelings morphing. Reynor did not drone, but he built a Baneling nest. And with those Banelings finishing, that's going to be a problem. The Queens on the high ground not only siege the workers, they're also hitting the Oracles. The Banelings are here as well. I think, yeah, with the Adepts getting surrounded, there's no way he can defend those mineral lines. He's got no way of dislodging those Queens. Showtime flying across with those Oracles. A tragic mistake. He should have been up 3-0, but Reynor given a much-needed respite in this series. Well, he gets a point on the board, does Reynor in the bottom right side of the map for Basilisk. Showtime, once again, just wants to block. Showtime, I really like that Showtime, a guy who's very passive, very defensive, very predictable. He's still somewhat predictable, but he's mixing things up enough. Glaive Adepts coming in here, doing a bit of this, a bit of that, getting the early Stalker pressure on 10,000 feet, but then he's also just constantly, I'm going to block you, make you take a 3rd. I'm going to disrupt your builds as much as possible, give you as little time and a little ability to do like a super well perfected, tailored, perfect build order as you might like. Now, Reynor did not try to get the natural up. He could have, if he goes for it nice and early. He's going to have to go take his 3rd base instead. And he gets it on 46 seconds, so it's still a well-timed one. Means he can still get the quick, Queens out. as early as possible, so the first Adept doesn't have much of a window to be a nuisance, and Showtime will poke into the main here at this point saying, hey, if you waited this long with a hidden drone to take this expansion, you've messed up your build enough. We are good. We are good, yeah. Showtime's got to be kicking himself for that last game, though. That was really sloppy of him. To move out with all 3 oracles. I mean, there's a rule when you defend such a desperate all-in like that, and it is simply send 1 oracle across to scout and just double down on your safety. I think for Showtime, the problem is you've dealt with these 2 crazy waves, and he had such limited scouting. It's like, unless he remembers, because it's been such a long time since these builds are in the meta, unless he's got some recent experience against it, he probably doesn't realize this is always under 20 drones, the sort of build that Reynor did in that last game. There's no follow-up, no third hatch. It's completely impotent if it doesn't kill you. So you don't need to worry about, oh, what if he's got 30 drones, which I'm sure that's what Showtime must have been thinking. Oh, does he have a third? He started, if he did a round of drones between the 2 waves, maybe he's on 30 drones. I can't delay my third too long because he could quickly get up to 50 workers and then be in a decent follow-up position. Of course, we can see everything. We know there's 19 drones. It's 2 base. Like, there's literally no queens at home. I don't even know if Reynor had time to rebuild his queens. I think he rebuilt queens, injected, and then picked them up and went for the next wave, right? Like, or did he just never lost the queens in the overlords, did he? I think he saved them each time. Either way, it was just like super desperate. I mean, Reynor, 19 drones, not a big income. He's in a desperate spot and definitely got to be careful. I remember with Terran against Holding, I'd often send the lib around the map to go harass after, and I had to come up with a rule where when Zerg had tried to all in, I'd send the lib just to go scout the map looking for a follow-up wave so I could see if there's more Banes or Ravagers coming in and like focus on that rather than go into counter pressure. It's like your normal game instincts aren't the best. 21 drone, lots of Zerglings, guys. There were a lot of Lings going around the edge of the map with an early Ling speed. Is this an all-in? Third hatchery. He does build 1 more drone, does Reynor. I think he wants that drone to get spotted coming out. Yeah, he's only got 3... Short 3 drones there. Oh, Showtime's left his second Adept at home, though. Showtime leaving his second Adept at home is brilliant. Otherwise, this would have been depowered. But with the second Adept at home, that is massive. Reynor has to go into the main base. But this Adept is going to clean this up. This Adept just goes back. Queen hits it a few times. Not going to do so much. Try to focus down a few of the gas probes, maybe, is your best bet. The Adept micro flawless here for Showtime. He's got the Oracle up, and Reynor's gone and he built, what, 14? 15 Zerglings early. Wait. How's he lost 3, but he's only got 11? 14 Zerglings. That is an even number. Never mind. For some reason, I thought that was an odd number. I was like, how do you have an odd number of Zerglings? Did one of the eggs only hatch a single one? Oracle kills a couple. That's really nicely done. 3 Adepts. Second Oracle's coming. Third base is delayed, justifiably so for Showtime, against a Zerg whose economy is this low. Remember, Reynor against Hero in the groups was absolutely mad on this map. He played super cheesy, just waves of Zerglings constantly running in. Showtime, not willing to risk that Nexus getting focused down straight away. Waits for the safety net of the Oracles. Well played. This Oracle's pretty low on juice, though. We'll want to be energy recharging that when he gets the chance. Reynor, he's got a decent count of Zerglings, 11, but not enough to feel like he can keep the Oracles at home. So he's going to have to build 3 spores, and he does just that. 41 drones to 43 probes in favor of the Protoss player, but now the Zerg overtakes, and it is a quick lair follow-up. Reynor, no doubt, wants to go for early Hydras. Oh, he's like, come on, turn your Oracles on, man. And the Oracles will kill 2 Zerglings there. Morling's building at home. Lair is on the way. As we said, second gas. Skipping Bane Nest, skipping Roach Warren. A little greedy here for Reynor. It might pay off, though. Forge and Twilight coming in. Third and fourth gateway. Both off of 4 gas. 6 Adepts are here. I think this is plenty of Zerglings to stop that shade. You'd have to be a madman to shade in at this point. Showtime, not made of the stuff that Hero is. Hero would probably click those Adepts in, throw them away, but Showtime is like, no, careful. I think that's the right way to do it. Once again, should probably cancel, but he sees the Lings are out of position, and ooh, that's a nasty spot behind the mineral line. Oh, and the stasis trap's really tricky. Oh no! Reynor leaves a few too many Zerglings there. They create a bit of a force field for the Adepts. And these Adepts trading out pretty decently. How many drones can they get? Good mining time lost on both bases. Not so many actual drones just yet. But he's only lost 3 Adepts, and the Oracles could even trade more here on these Zerglings. Anytime those Adepts get into a corner with the Oracles overhead, it's so nasty for the Zerglings. And you know he doesn't want to let these Adepts retreat, but I think those Adepts just start a step back. They're okay. Oh, it survives. Reynor's trying to play Hydra Bane, guys. Hydra Den's on the way. Baneley Nest just finished. 4th base coming up on the right side. Showtime's already got Blink +1 pressure. This is going to make it difficult for Reynor to get through, because he's got to defend his 4th. And I think if Showtime finds that, those Stalkers are going to beeline towards it. There's not a lot of creep there. I want to push this Overlord up and drop some creep. Try and jump it ahead a little bit. 4 Queens. First 9 Hydras with Groove Spines in the way. He squeezes a few more drones out because Reynor's down on income. And this is kind of the hole he finds himself against Showtime. How the hell do you dig your way out of this hole? Some people say when you find yourself in a hole, quit digging. I don't know, man. I feel like Reynor might need to dig harder into just mass army, accept the lower worker position, and look for a good fight on these Stalkers. But of course, 9 Hydras, 22 Zerglings seems okay against this until you account for the stasis traps. That's the big factor that changes things and makes it so these Blink Stalkers, soon to have +1, get so effective. Good pull away on the Zerglings. Might find himself like a single Zealot on the Reinforce, perhaps. Charge is nowhere near complete just yet. Storm's on the way, Robo, all sorts of follow-ups. No 4th base for Showtime. So if he's not able to kill this, it'll be quite nice for Reynor, but a lot of Reynor's Hydras start to drop, and that Stasis Trap trapping 4 of the Hydras really good there for the Protoss player, who's only lost 2 Stalkers. Happy to trade his Adepts out here. More Hydras are rallying in, more Zerglings, 2 worker advantage to Protoss right now. Zergling sets off the Stasis, well done there by Ray. 2 Queens are in trouble at the front. Those guys want to survive. Remember, he's only got 4 Queens in this game. Like to get back to injecting, spreading creep. Reynor holds on. Honestly, kind of impressive that he didn't lose the 4th. I thought he was going to lose it. Showtime. He has Storm, he has +2, but he's just now taking that delayed 4th base. But Reynor, he moves his army out of position. No, he survived. Oh, no. He had the 4th base up. Oh, he did so good, and then an unforced error. And the problem with that is if he has the 4th, Showtime doesn't know what's happening. He goes, okay, it's Hydra Bane. Got to be careful, but I don't know if it's committing to army or if you're droning up first and then committing to your attack. Now, Showtime knows, don't probe, just build army. This guy's going to hit me off 65, 70 workers with Hydra Bane because he doesn't have a 4th base. Reynor's not even rebuilding the hatch. He's completely all in. The Oracle's going to fly in, see no 4th being rebuilt, and pretty much confirm that. Well, actually, no, he sees the Lings coming, which is enough. And now he's going to tag the whole army. Not even going to get a surprising initiation on the fight. Oh, this is bad for Reynor, man. Bad for Reynor. The Storm has kicked in. There is 6 High Templar, lots of Stalkers, a few Cannons, a few Stasis Traps. He's going to try and jump on this southern angle. On the right side, the High Templar do quickly shimmy over, trying to land some zoning storms. The Hydra's get a good position without Bane Speed. This is going to be a hard one, man. No Bane Speed. Hydra Bane Bust is very dicey at the best of times. The Bane's actually getting through on top of the High Templar, shockingly. The Hydras eat big storms. There's still an arc on cannons. It's still a very close fight. Reynor might be able to break him here. Are there any more Zealots? The Stalker blink on the top is huge. Breaks the top side, shuffles away from the south. The Oracles come in to join in. The Archons are getting popped, but they've done their job of tanking, landing a few hits. And with the Zealots coming in as well, Reynor's frontline crumbles. Showtime with an impressive hold. All right, Reynor in the top right side of the map, guys. Showtime in the bottom left. It's Old Republic. No blocking his opponent's base. Do we see gas first this time for Showtime? I think so. I think it'd be a good idea. You're up a couple games. You can afford to be a little greedy. He goes for the pylon and the wall off. That's interesting. Like, Hero's wall off, I understand. It's dodgy, but like he builds it in a really easy to place position. He just leaves a 1-space gap. Builds a gate of Cybercore. Builds a second pylon later to seal the wall. This one, Showtime's either gonna botch it, or he's gonna be like the sickest guy who memorizes the exact placement on every map for some sick puppy. Beautiful wall. Okay. Okay, so gateway there, and this means the wall is very far forward, close to the ramp, which is nice, whereas most people wall back a bit. And then he can wall off with the Cybercore here, and he can put another gateway in front, creating a thick, safe choke point, and it's very close to the wall off. So the Zerg's trying to push up the ramp, and they're already running into a wall off with potentially cannons behind it shooting and that sort of stuff. Yeah, this is great. It was gas first, of course, guys. Gas is already mining here. We are going to see a hatch gas pool for Reynor. Reynor's got to make some magic happen. He's got to dig deep. The difficulty is getting through the early stage without falling behind, right? Essentially, 2 Adepts coming, and then Oracles and Storms. Oracles and Stalkers are the things that Reynor's... I don't think he's really found himself ahead in any of these games, and that's really a problem. I do think I want to see, you know, Ultras, bloody dynamic Ling Bane into Ultra maybe. Greed. I want to see Greed out of Reynor as he goes to that late game, but he needs to get an advantage to do it. Because this is a gas first, Showtime, do you think he still double chronos Adept? It's a giant map. Reynor has his natural. I don't think he double chronos Adepts here. I think Showtime's probably going to chrono the heck out of his probes. And I think that's a good way to play, but it does give Reynor a chance to do his cleanest possible, well-practiced opening. There's 2 Lings before 2 Queens. I almost always go the other way around, Queens first, because I think, you know, got to get those injects down. Very little difference. I mean, he queues them sequentially anyway. Adept comes down. Chrono boost number 1. Single chrono on the Adept's relatively standard. Just to get over there, check what's happening a bit earlier. I know Petit Drogo is not a fan. He's like, dude, just chrono probes. What are you doing? You think that's going to cause problems? You chrono your Adept? Zerg's going to build the same number of Zerglings and Queens anyway. Does give you a little bit of safety. Oh, he double chronos. So he's still going to double chrono Adepts even now. Dude, Showtime's just like, I like this. You know, when you could always tell a player just like something. No chrono on the Nexus just yet, though. That's a bit odd. I guess he's saving it for the Oracle. Okay, so Showtime's leaning into the pressure here. Damn, dude. This is, like, not as economic as I was expecting. Yeah, he's just like, he's going to second chrono the second Oracle maybe as well. Wild. Wild choices. Pylon goes down in the main, so he's got great production space there and there. Showtime always setting himself up. Nice organized base structure. Plenty of Zerglings. 8 with the Queens. Should be able to stop these 2 Adepts. The Adepts continuing to run in is crazy. But he does bait the Zerglings forward, which means that main's mostly undefended. He's going to get a few of these drones. Oh, that's bad for Reynor. Well, only 2's not too bad, actually. Could have been worse. Reynor probably should have split his Lings, I think. I think he should have sent 4 to interrupt the Adepts and 4 to chase. Would have been a slightly smoother hold. Oh, no Spore, no Spore. Oh, no, Reynor. Oh, the Spore's not ready. The drone's a little slow to run away, which means 3 more drones go down, and now Showtime is pretty happy with this. Ling's going across the map, desperate to find something to strike back against the German Protoss. Italian player struggling. I mean, you guys know he's... I don't want to mention it too much in the series, but 60 FPS, playing on a dodgy computer. The fact that, you know, he's been such a good sport, trying so hard to still set up his camera when he can and get in here and play. Like, all hats go off to Reynor. He's having a hard time in this series. He's still playing very good StarCraft, but I think against this version of Showtime that already butchered his group and it made it to the finals of Home Story Cup recently, even Reynor on point, I think, really struggles in this match. But this version of Reynor, you can see he's trying his hardest, but when you're a guy whose skill, his execution is about fluidity, fast-paced execution, micro, it's really difficult when you're facing this uphill battle with your setup working against you. Lings will come in. Does force the Oracles back temporarily, as well as another Adept to warp in. Forge comes in, 3 more gateways. Yeah, pretty chilled out setup so far. So triple Oracle into Blink. Chronos the Blink first. And we should see +1 just moments later. Very nice. Gonna go for the Ling trade on the Adept. I think that's worth, yeah. Backs off after just losing 2 Zerglings. Oracle's coming to get 1 worker. Only 1. Good defense. Early +1 melee. So this is a big change up for Reynor, guys. He's going screw building Roaches, screw building Hydras. Let's just defend with Lings. This guy's obsessed with Oracle Stalker. He did do Glaives earlier in the series, which I think starting game 1 with Glaive Adepts, so Reynor didn't want to play this build too much. The upgraded Zergling Greedy build was really smart for Showtime. I think he's conditioned Reynor to not go for one of his best openings against Showtime's best build, which is just Oracles into Blink pressure. You can see, yeah, the Stalkers will go for a pressure. Now he'll move out, join up with the Oracles, and start pressuring this 4th. Reynor's gone for this 4th in the middle. Good creep spread. Easy to defend in that regard. I think this 4th is I prefer normally, but I could see why you'd take this one with Oracles always sniping your 4th bases in this matchup. Bane Nest goes down. It's a pretty late Bane nest, so it wouldn't have been there in time for a fast Glaives. But it will be there for like Charge Archon and that sort of thing. Speaking of which, Templar Archives is on the way. 6 gases, 65 workers to 70. REYNOR actually has his first worker lead in the series. Gonna have 40 Zerglings in a few seconds. Queens and Zerglings can deal with this if he can set off the stasis traps. You know what Showtime's so good at, guys? He starts the stasis trap and then he moves his units on top, so there's no way to focus fire them. And that is so annoying for the Zerg. REYNOR takes a massive stasis trap to the chin. Stalkers thankfully aren't the highest damage per second, so the hatchery can tank a little bit. Units lost time already 200 in favor of Showtime. Showtime's got to be wary now because these Lings are about to pop out into a surround. He's going to try and freeze him again. This times it by about 2.5 seconds though. It's really hard to time that, where you want this stasis trap to finish like 0.3 of a second after the Lings pop out of the previous one. Oh man, these stasis traps are nasty. Like I was saying, he throws it down and then he stutter steps his Stalkers on top of it. You can't place it on a unit, but you can move on top of it after, and then the Lings can't focus it. He needs range units to focus it, which he can't do. The Queens are too far away. They're too low damage. He gets the bloody 4th base kill. Showtime running away with this series. The Lings, though, breaking out of the stasis traps. He sets off the last stasis trap. There's no energy left on the Oracles. Has Showtime overcommitted here? He needs to recall, man. Oh, those Lings are massacring. They're killing so many Stalkers. This might actually be great. REYNOR has a new 4th up top. He's got a Hive. +2 melee, +1 carapace on the way. The Oracle turns on its laser. That's going to run out of energy in a few seconds. REYNOR happy to lose a few legs if he can get some more Stalkers, and he gets one more. 12 Stalkers for 70 Zerglings in a hatchery. You might think that's bad. Look at the units lost time. That's an amazing trade for REYNOR. Stalkers trade at a 7-to-1 ratio. Also, Stalkers cost gas. Lings don't, so arguably they're worth even more than that. Psystorm will finish, though, and Showtime has a 4th up, so he's still in an okay spot. Problem for him? Hive, Infestors, Neuroparasite. Dude, so REYNOR's gonna have Infestors with Neural to steal all your Archons and Immortals off you. We talked about this earlier in the series. This is what has given Showtime problems in the past. And then he's going to go Ultras as well, which just wallop this army if there's no Immortals there. And there's not, I mean, there's a Robo out as he built an Observer. 1 Observer, now 1 Warp Prism. He's about to start Immortal production. He's also going up to 10 Gateways. The Oracles should be realizing what's happening, I think. He sees like 60 Zerglings. I mean, arguably it could be Mutas off of this, but as we can see, it is just a massive army, and Showtime needs to drop 2 Robos and go Immortals right now. Showtime, he's trying to take gases on his 4th. He's not doing it. Ultra Cavern has started. Oh, he's going. Showtime's getting out of timing. He builds a few cannons and batteries at home because he knows Lings could counter, and I think REYNOR, if he counterattacks, could actually tear down everything. REYNOR doesn't want to fight right now, guys. He doesn't have the energy. Oh, wait, no, he'll have the energy. 100 energy for Neural. He's got 6 Neurals available. 6 Neurals available. Showtime's going to morph 2 Archons here. And if you can Neural all the Archons, your Lings can probably surround everything, make him storm his own army. That could be big. It's all about the Neurals. It's all about the Neural Parasites here. REYNOR has enough Zerglings. I think even without the Ultras, he could probably fight it. If the Ultras came out, he'd hard counter him. Showtime wants to get in there before the Ultras. Nice! Units coming in, but oh, the stasis traps! Oh no! REYNOR's whole army gets frozen. He had an amazing surround. Amazing Neurals on half of the bloody Protoss army. But dude! Oh no! The stasis freezes the whole army. Look at that. One of Showtime's Archons was in Neural Parasites, who it actually got frozen by stasis trap as well. The Ling's not doing anything. Now they come out, but now the Neurals are broken, which means there's 4 Archons obliterating the Zerglings. The stasis traps from hell. Absolutely. Showtime's just absolutely delectably delicious or disgustingly horrendous stasis traps, depending on if you're a REYNOR fan or a Showtime fan. And honestly, they've been a big part of all of his Stalker Oracle pressures. I don't know if REYNOR, I've never really seen REYNOR struggle with them. I think it's one of those things where it's such fine micro to target them down to your Lings, your Queens, and maybe he's just normally a bit better at that. But maybe, I don't know if it's the computers affecting him with the low FPS. I'm sure it is a bit. But the stasises have just been perfect. And I think Showtime with that little micro trick there to move on top of them so you can't focus them a lot has been so ridiculously good. Archon's shuffling backwards there. The Ultra will go down. The Ultras are coming out, but they don't have Chitinous. They're coming in one at a time. They're outnumbered. Showtime has 4 bases, Mothership, double Robo Immortal behind it. Dude, those stasis traps were ridiculous. There was actually a good fight for REYNOR. Like, I kid you not, this is a good fight for REYNOR. I thought, oh, you're hitting pre-ultra, this is a free win. Then I'm like, wait, no. Because he neuroparasites all of the Archons. Like, yeah. But look at these stasis traps came down. The queens were surrounded. They couldn't target them. The lings are kind of trapped back here. He just can't get the stasis trap sometime. And look at that. This Archon gets frozen by his own stasis trap because it counts as an enemy unit. I didn't realize it worked like that. That's hilarious. These two Archons come forward. But look, Storm actually does eventually break those as well because it does 110 damage. Infesta can't move while it's Neuraling. Only has 90 hit points these days. I didn't even think about that interaction, guys. Old Storm did 80 damage. New Storm actually does kill an Infesta. Takes a while. But yeah, if these Lings were fighting that whole time with the 3 Archons mind controlled, everything dies. And it's actually a wipe. And then REYNOR's got Ultras, and it's like, it's such a good position to be in, fam. Showtime, though, is a beast, though. Holy crud. Hats off to REYNOR for playing such a hard series today in the group, guys, swapping between or the playoffs, I should say, swapping between the Net Cafe, the PC Bang, and Ohm. But honestly, even in the perfect environment, I think maybe he takes another map or two. I still think Showtime wins this series because he is just on fire right now. GG, well played. Yeah, what are you eating, dude? Your PvZ is on fire. Shin always finds an opening and a window to kill someone at least once in the mid game. He couldn't find a single opening on you. And then REYNOR as well. The only game he won, I think if those 3 oracles don't fly across the map, you've got that in the bag as well. Your PvZ is unconscionably good right now. What's going on, man?
I don't really know, to be honest. I think PvZ is just, it's very straightforward for Protoss, in my opinion. Like, you just do whatever you want in terms of opening, like Oracle, whatever, Glaive, Blink, Charge, Archon, whatever you want, and then the goal is always the same. You just try to do some damage and get to a Tempest, and that stage of the game is just insane for Protoss, in my opinion. So, I don't know, it's just very easy to play, I feel like, for me.
So because you've got this like safety buffer of late game, you know is going to be good for you, so you kind of always got that to fall back on, where Zerg kind of feels like they need to finish you early, so you kind of have that freedom to be a bit more flexible in how you get there, as long as you don't, die in those early stages.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, the only one I wouldn't be too happy if it goes to late game is usually Serral, but against anyone else, I'm quite happy if it goes late game. I don't know, I don't really lose a whole lot against like Lurk or Corruptor kind of stuff. It's like, if anything, I'm gonna struggle a bit more versus like, the way Serral plays, like Brood Lords and Infestor, and take it really slow and that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
when people just stay on the Lurk or Corruptor, it's just like, I think like the Tempest Archon Immortal is just way too strong against it, and yeah, I don't know.
Well, it's kind of funny, right? Because it's like you've got units that outrange the siege units, and like they're going to try and they can't headbutt into Storm and Mothership. So every time I'm watching Lurker Corruptor versus that army, I'm kind of like, this seems like, this is not a fun spot to play, which is why I loved that REYNOR went Ultra Infesta in that final game. And you got a beautiful timing. You wait another little bit, I think you're in trouble with that army, but you could probably total up and obviously play late game. Is it specifically that map you might struggle with it, or do you think you'd be fine if you did just sit at home, go double, triple robo, chill, build immortals, and just don't kind of get surrounded? Because you have had some trouble in the past with his Neuroparasite.
Yeah, I mean, that game was very lucky, to be honest. Like, if all the links don't get stuck in the stasis, my push just gets eaten up, I think, and I probably lose the game. So I was kind of lucky in that game, but if he gets ultras out, I don't really play against it much, so I don't know. Like, it's a strong play style, because if you get like the fungal and the microbial with the ultras, they can kind of, like, it's surprising what kind of army they can beat. But yeah, I don't know how it would have gone, to be honest. Like, the map is relatively open at the 4th and the 5th base, so it might be possible for him to force like some fights there, and my immortal production is usually quite late with the way I play, so it would have probably been quite scary, I think. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, it was pretty. You were going really well with your Stalker stasis first pressure. I mean, I think you just used more stasis traps than I've seen in a while. Do you do multiple energy recharges? I know you normally try to do one early, but like, are you actively energy recharging those oracles, or have they just saved up energy by the time that pressure hits? Because I was shocked by how many stasis traps you had.
Yeah, it depends a bit on the build. Like with some builds, like if I do the double oracle Pigstarcraft pressure one, I usually double recharge the oracle, so I end up having, I don't know, like probably 5 or 6 stasis. And also, like if I play like that, I'm playing very passively with the oracle as well, so I have like a lot of oracle energy banked up. If I play triple oracle, I usually don't recharge super early. Maybe right when I move out, I do one. But yeah, it depends a bit on the build.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, what I was noticing as I was watching, because it's kind of funny, sometimes the Zerglings can like focus the stasis traps down. Obviously, REYNOR, I think, did have some quite a few issues today with his computer and stuff. His FPS wasn't quite there, but it feels like, I don't think you can place a stasis where a unit is, but once it starts channeling, you can move units on top of it, and then like Zerglings can't really attack it. Is that how it works?
Yeah, it's actually, Cyril gave me this advice. He said that Max Pax does it this way, where he will place a stasis and then blink his Stalk on top, so he cannot target them down with the links anymore. So yeah, if they are pure links, it's actually very hard to find a good fight, in my opinion.
Basilisk Trader. Bad, Cyril. Bad, Cyril. Don't bad. Keep giving tips to the other side. Bad, Cyril. Bad.
To be fair, that's like a long time ago he gave me that advice. Not specifically against REYNOR now.
Remember, they're the enemy. You know, I do like it, because sometimes you will have players like at an event, you know, everyone's chatting, especially once everyone's eliminated. You're watching games together, and it always feels like when you're at a LAN, you all kind of learn a lot from each other just watching games and like sharing these little tidbits, right? And it's kind of a collaborative thing where you tell them some stuff, they tell you some stuff, and you all kind of learn. There are some players who are a bit cagier about it, right? Where they don't want to reveal their secrets. Especially, I think Terran players especially are very like, we've got to protect our builds sometimes. Are you very open when you're at an event? You're just like, you know, whatever. I'll share all the info with you, Zergs and Terrans, if you know, as long as we're just having a chat. Or do you try to hold some stuff back?
I think sometimes I'm sharing too much, because I kind of, like, I don't really get to talk much with like other pro players in person, so it's only at events. So sometimes it's nice to just talk about stuff and what they think and what all that. But I've made too many experiences where like I'm, like before the event even starts, like on media day or whatever, you talk with players and then you end up facing them eventually, and they know like some of the tricks you like and all that. So I've become a bit more, how to say, like I don't share as much initially anymore. Like as long as I'm in the tournament, I try not to talk too much about how I play and all that stuff.
I think that's a good rule. Once you're out of the tournament, maybe don't be so cagey, but early on, definitely hold it back. You know, it's always sucky if you're like, oh, if people just knew to do this thing, and then you're playing that guy in the later round, and you're just like, oh, I'm an idiot. He knows how to counter the thing. But yeah, dude, you've been looking great, man. I want to ask you, I remember years ago, you were a big fan of Block the Expansion, Chrono 2 Adepts, Shade In and Commit every single game. You've been doing a lot of that the last few days. Did you? I feel like you weren't doing this for a while. Why is it back?
Maybe, like I've always played it a lot, to be honest. Like it's always my main opening. Maybe there was like some time where I was just like chrono boosting Nexus only, playing more passively. But I think it's just the most obnoxious opening you can play, honestly. Like when I play Zerg and I get blocked and they do 2 adepts, I absolutely hate it. And I always felt like it's just like insane, because you force so many links, then you can sack the adepts, and if you don't mess up, then you get like 2 drones, maybe 3, sometimes more, sometimes like mining time lost as well. And it just puts you in like a giga position, in my opinion. Like I've always really liked this kind of opening. I think it's just super obnoxious, honestly.
It's kind of fun because I think it simplifies what you do next, where sometimes players are a bit more like, oh, I don't want to just sit at my third. I want to be more active with my adepts and oracles. But you've already like forced a bunch of Zerglings. You know, for a little bit you've had like a 10 worker advantage for a few seconds and stuff. So it kind of allows you to be more passive with your oracles for a little bit while your third gets established. Because you know it's like, just leave the adept in the wall, sit with the oracle above the third with energy recharge. If you see a good amount of Zerglings, sometimes you even leave the laser beam on. So it feels like you simplify that. But what I felt like the oppressiveness of how you played is, yeah, you defend for a little bit, but then it's a pretty narrow window before your stalkers are going across the map. Like 10,000 feet, you were over there with like 6 stalkers well before Blink was done. You had tons of Oracle energy to cover them. And that feels like, when I'm playing the Zerg side, and I've spoken to a lot of Zergs of all levels and pros, man, no one likes Stalkers and Oracles being at their 4th base before the 6-minute mark. That is like very, very effective. And it felt like if you gave Reynor a little bit more room to breathe, I think he could have made some more magic happen. But it felt like you were on him the whole time. So I guess the idea is just don't let the Zerg get away with anything, right? He has to show what he's doing, and either is it I don't know. I mean, or is it just a generally good way to play? Just talk me through those early Stalker pressures you do.
Yeah, like with the build on 10k specifically, usually, so I sack the 2 Adepts. If they do a lot of damage, I feel like it's already super good for me because the Blink Stalker pressure hits very fast and they have a lot of energy, as you said. I think Zerg has to stay on like maybe 60 worker max to like properly defend it. Yeah, Reynor held it fine, I think. I don't remember. Was it the game where like I messed up the early game with the Adepts? Maybe I don't remember exactly, or maybe it was a different one. No, it was Winter Madness actually. Never mind. But yeah, I don't know. It's just it hits very fast. It's very strong. It's I think right now it's probably my favorite opening.
That's really good, man. I find it's very, very powerful. Hard to get the advantage on you. Celestial Enclave, sick wall off, man. And then that little shield battery Sim City on the right side of your Nexus. Were you thinking about retreating your units to there immediately when you realized what was happening? Did you know he was all-inning or kind of think there was a good chance of it? I know 2 Adepts got surrounded moving out to take your 3rd. Just talk me through your mindset on Enclave, because that was a really fun little cheesy build from Reynor.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I thought, like initially I thought, oh, it's a proxy hatchery, something like that. Because why would you play pool gas? And then he took the back base, and I was like, there's no way he's gonna play normal, because the back base is just bad in my opinion. It just doesn't mine much, and you need, maybe if you get a quick 3rd base it's okay, but I think in general it's bad to take it. But then nothing happened for a long time, and I didn't have any scouting. My Stargate was late because I played core first as well, because I was a bit scared about some, I don't know, some link flood or whatever. And yeah, I had no scouting, so I wasn't sure what was happening. Nothing happened for a long time, and then I was like taking a 3rd base, and suddenly there's 4 overlords or whatever flying to my main base with queens, and I was like, okay, this is probably just instant game over. But then somehow, I don't know, like it didn't feel very powerful what he did, because I was completely unprepared, and somehow I think maybe I could have stabilized if I played a bit differently, because at some point I thought like surely he has like a base or something he's droning up, but then he came again and I was on the map with oracles, so I wasn't really sure how many drones he had, so I misplayed it quite a bit, I think.
Well, it's so hard to judge. I was like, why would you move out? And then I was like, oh, I mean, from your point of view, there's probably 35 drones and a 3rd hatchery on the way. You don't know he's on 19 workers the whole time. So, of course, you're like, in hindsight, you probably just send 1 oracle out, of course. Did you, I guess you didn't have recall energy to recall those oracles either, probably, because you've been chronoing and stuff.
I'm not sure, actually. I might have had recall energy. I don't know.
Lings and queens on top, though. Cool little build from him. GG, well played, man. I think we will wrap up with 2 last questions. One from the audience before we ask about your match against Maru, which is going to be from Pi. And the audience, a few people were saying they want to know about the, there's some, are they bunny rabbit pillows on the couch behind you? They want to know the lore behind the bunny pillows, if possible.
Guys, there's much lore, to be honest. Like I used to have rabbits when I was younger. It's probably my favorite animal, so I don't know, I think it's just like a nice decoration, you know.
Nice. Did you have like the little cute dwarf ones or kind of the chunky?
Yeah.
The dwarf ones are adorable. Yeah. I had we had 2 when I was young, and one of them was a dwarf one that's like way cuter, but she was a bit feral. She'd like bite me when I'd like try to, because like we'd let them out in the garden to play, and then I'd be like, okay, we got to get them back in at night so they don't get eaten by like foxes or whatever, you know. And yeah, she'd like bite me when I'd have to like tackle her base. I'd have to like dive and like catch her, and she'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna bite your finger, bro." Whereas the big fat ugly one was actually like the nice one, but no one wanted to pat it as much because it wasn't as cute. So what can I say? Beauty privilege for the cuter looking bunny rabbit. That's cool, dude. Okay, final chat question is, how much do you bench?
Honestly, I don't bench. Like I mean, you can see in the background, right? I have only like dumbbells at home, so I do like maybe like I don't know. Belts.
The Discord is bugging out for a sec. Hold on. Just speak again. It's doing the robot speech. That's so funny. It should stabilize in a sec. Try again. All right, I'm gonna call you back on Discord. Yo.
No?
I think you need to hang up the call as well. I gotta, because he stayed in the call, so now it should reload. All right, we good? Can you hear me? Testing, 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 testing. I love that it hit his bench number perfectly, guys. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, now I can hear you again.
Oh, we can. Okay, it's good. It's back. It censored your bench number, like just as you were saying.
I mean, what I was saying is that I don't really do like the big heavy bench press. So I only do dumbbells, and I use maybe like 20 to 25 kilos or something. So it's nothing too impressive.
Is that 25 on each hand or?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no, that's solid. It's always harder with dumbbells as well because you've got to balance it a bit more. So that's probably easier. A 60 kilo, 65 kilo single rep max, easy. Maybe 70 kilos, I reckon.
I did at an event. I remember with like I think it was your thermal. We were testing like the one rep max, and I think I benched like I want to say like 75 or 80 or something. But
oh, nice.
That's like I think it's like 2018 or so. I don't know if I can still do it.
It's hard if you don't do it a lot because the movement when you haven't trained your muscles for it is actually very awkward and it's quite different to the dumbbell movement as well. But that's awesome. Okay, so let's good questions, chat. Thank you, Showtime, for indulging us. You're playing Maru tomorrow, dude. It's awesome. You guys have actually played a lot of fun series over the years. I feel like there was a point when you maybe started beating Maru, playing him for the first time in online tournaments like a long time ago, where you'd beat him a whole bunch of times or a couple times. I remember 1 or 2 times you beat him, you gave him some trouble, and it felt like ever since then, Maru always came out with like very special anti-Showtime builds where I was like, I've never seen Maru play like this against anyone else, but like he was like, I can't let you play standard, and he's always got like a new, really unique like SCV pull timing or tank push that I haven't seen before or something like that. Is that a fair assessment, or am I just remembering a couple of games that stand out in my mind?
I don't know if he specifically like has stuff prepared for me always, but he is just he has insane all-ins and timings and all that. Like I don't know, I really struggle. I feel like I always struggle with him super hard. If I get into a macro game, it can be okay, but usually he kills me in like 6 minutes, and I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. So yeah, he's very hard to play against for me.
Yeah, and obviously like it's kind of funny because Maru's always got the extreme all-ins. Like he'll proxy Rex SCV Marine Pool, and then he'll turtle to late game the next game, and he's got those 2 extremes that are scary. He's not just in a single pocket. You took him down in Maestros the last time you guys played though. Group D 3-2 victory for you was a really sick win. That's your most recent match. Obviously before that he beat you a whole bunch of times over the previous few years. But yeah, that should give you some confidence. So yeah, I mean, any words for Maru or anything? You're just going to prepare some builds, get in there and show us your best?
Yeah, I guess, I don't know. No words to Maru really. I just tried to prepare for him, and we'll see how the all-ins hit. I hope I can defend, but yeah, he's very hard to play against for me. I always struggle with him, and we'll see if it's different tomorrow. I hope so. Yeah, just have to prepare and try my best.
And after you destroy Maru and ruin the tournament by having another day of one-sided series, like you've already done today by butchering my poor Zergs so one-sidedly, please let them take some maps next time. Do you want to play against Clem or Cyril in the grand finals?
Neither, to be honest. I mean, Cyril, I think, is my #1 nemesis. Or actually, it might be Clem these days because you play way more. But yeah, Cyril, I never beat. I think Clem I sometimes beat, so maybe it's better to play against Clem for me. But maybe my PvZ is on fire, so maybe I should give it a go against Cyril, you know?
Heck yeah, dude. I mean, I was literally watching the games and I was kind of flabbergasted at how well you stopped everything Shin did and how well you were dictating against Reynor and leaving so few openings. And I was literally in the cast. I was kind of just like, I wasn't expecting the games to go like this. And I was like, I want to see you versus Cyril. I said it a few times. I was like, I really want to see Showtime play Cyril. Why are they got to be on opposite sides of the bracket? Like, I want to see this match now because your PvZ looks sick. So I'm crossing my fingers. Somehow, you know, see if Cyril can take down Big Dog Clem, see if you could take down Big Dog Maru and get the PvZ finals would be cool. Either way, you've shown fantastic games in the group stage, and now, you know, I think we all probably the highlight of the group stage. Everyone was the crazy Blink DT build. For those who don't know, Showtime Demauer, he's meant to be a wall. He's meant to sit there and defend. You went Blink DT base trade, which was awesome. So. Yeah, bring some more of that against Maru tomorrow, please. Because that was probably the highlight of the entire group stage.
Yeah, I'll try to bring some stuff. I guess I have to. So yeah, I need to come up with some fun stuff.
Best of 7, so a bit of room for experimentation. Awesome, man. Have a good night. I really appreciate you for sharing so much in the interview. And we look forward to casting you tomorrow in the semifinals.
Yep, thank you. Bye-bye.
GG, well played, man. Legendary day of games.